Back to the Big Kountry YouTube channel, and today guys we're back on yet another project. Big Kountry I think has way too many projects, could be an issue, but we posted a picture of the Nitrous bike that I used to ride, that I won the championship with back in 2018, and I posted the picture for 9/11. Well, everybody in the comments wanted to see the bike, wondered if I still had the bike, yada yada yada. Well, I decided to dig the bike back out of the corner, and today we're gonna see if we can put it back together and get it running and see if we can come up with some kind of new project, something to do with this bike that'll make it fun and put it back on the channel. Guys, get ready, because the Godfather is coming back. Here she is, dug out of the corner with its box of parts. And you can see we got a long ways to go. I think the last time this bike actually ran was at the end of 2019. So a little backstory on this bike. This bike was built brand new off the showroom floor by Chris. Like I said, a bike 0 miles straight from Suzuki, and it has lived its whole life as nothing but a race bike from day one of its life. But Chris raced it for a good while, and then I decided to get into racing myself when the heavyweight class become available. So we built this bike for me to race in the heavyweight class. Very first year of racing it, I won championship. The second year we ran, we finished up second in points, and then I decided to build this son of a gun. And anyways, long story short, I said whenever I got my turbo all the way figured out and everything, nothing broke, and you know, basically I could afford to run 2 motorcycles, I would run this bike again. Well, what do you know, that never happened, because this bike has been a darn rascal ever since I built it, and has never let me be able to afford to run another motorcycle other than it. I think it knew it didn't want to be playing second fiddle to nobody, so it literally took everything in me to keep this one running for the past, I don't know, 5 years. But anyways, we had a plan. We were going to get this thing back out. We had a whole brand new fresh engine built to compete. That is an 11 mil stroke, 84 millimeter piston bore, almost 1700 cc's Busa engine. All of it's brand new. It's only been started one time and ran, never been down the track, nothing. It's all completely brand new and fresh. Brand new DME exhaust pipe that's never had any runtime on it. You can see it's still perfectly clean. But we had big plans with this thing to get it back out and make it where it can compete in the nitrous class. Well, unfortunately, we never got around to doing that. We were going to put a whole new wiring harness on it, all kinds of upgrades to make this thing where it could go back out there and win again. But due to all the comments of wanting to see this bike come back out, I've decided, well, let's get it back out, let's get it running, and let's just see what we can do with it. I mean, this thing at one time had the best of everything you could get. Motec ECU, obviously the big, huge engine. I mean,
Country, did you tell them? So you know the story behind, do you even remember where this bike came from?
I just got done telling the story, actually, that this was a brand new bike off the showroom floor that you had.
Brand new bike. It had 0 miles on it. It was mine. I pulled the engine out of it literally the first day it came out of the box, and we built the motor, and it went from one thing to another. Literally, I redid this bike like 20 times, just kept getting, as the technology kept evolving for the Gen 2 Busa, we kept doing stuff, and at one time she was ahead of her time. But it's gonna be cool to see what you make out of it.
Do you think, I mean, how many miles on the street do you think this bike has?
10.
She's pretty much lived her whole life as a race bike. And dude, the people wanted to see it, man. I posted it for 9/11 and they went crazy.
Oh, cool.
The American flag theme, and they're like, a lot of people thought that this bike was this bike.
Nope.
And I told them, long story short, this bike never let me afford to be able to run this bike and that bike at the same time.
Yeah, no,
This one here,
building one is crazy expensive. These things are like a free dog. I mean, or a free puppy. Even if you get him for free, still costs a lot just to get him where he needs to be.
yeah, and this one's like a damn sick puppy. It's at the vet all the time, dude.
Yeah,
It
used
done-
to be, dude. Don't block.
Yeah.
Knock.
Brother, don't break my bodywork, dude.
Country, I mean.
Jesus. Anyways, guys, we're about to get this thing, see if we can get it back running. We obviously got a lot of work to do. The subframe, it's here somewhere. We gotta get throttle bodies back on. I don't know. This thing, it needs a lot, but I mean, it can't be any worse than some of the other projects we've done. Making a little bit of progress. We got our subframe bolted back on. Check this out. Old Fireball whiskey. It used to be what she run off of. That's literally the gas tank. I'm just kidding, guys. It's not the gas tank. But Fireball did keep this motorcycle and me going back in the day. So check out here though, as we're putting these throttle bodies on, look inside of this engine. The port work on this thing, absolutely unreal. These suckers right here, what feed the NOS into this puppy. That's the first kit on this thing. It had 2 stages of nitrous. You're talking about an engine that probably makes between 200 and 250 horsepower. Almost 300 horsepower worth of nitrous going into that thing. These things here, when you're going down the track, are massively flowing some nitrous into this engine, literally force feeding it. No. Progress on her, okay? So man, I just, as I'm putting this thing together, just realized, man, my turbo over there, it's a mile ahead of this thing on stuff. I mean, look, we just have wires everywhere. So to take you back in time a little bit, this bike originally, this was before like the custom harnesses and everything that BJ does for us now. So this is like a plug and play box from Motec to use your stock harness. And guys, like I said, over the years, the wear and tear on this harness and splicing in stuff, changing stuff, I mean, it's a mess, guys. This thing has got stuff going everywhere. And just figuring out what everything plugs into. Some plugs are the same, but then they got colors on them. I mean, it might not be that bad, you know, back when we were taking this thing apart every weekend. But geez, after not seeing it for a couple years, it's pretty hard to figure out. I mean, we got our throttle bodies on. Look, we got some power there. We do got to figure out, this thing has a starter, but no starter solenoid and stuff. And the starter box that they used to use is kind of obsolete now. So we got to figure out how. We really just got to get power to that starter. Not that big a deal. Check this out. Air shock on it. One of the first ones ever developed, ever made. More Mafia brand on it. This was one of the first bikes to ever try the air shock. And I'd be damned if it didn't work and win us a championship. So now we got to get this front end off this thing and see. I'm sure the battery is no good in it after sitting that long. But I mean, darn, wheel nut loose. Like, there's a bunch of stuff loose on this thing that I don't remember ever taking loose, interestingly enough. It's kind of like a puzzle at this point. see here, we're gonna do a flow test on these injectors and see, I believe we got one that's a little weak here. So this is critical on the bikes. This is basically a wide open spray. And we're gonna be able to see if one of these injectors needs more fuel. With the Motec ECU, BJ is able to go in and control how much fuel these injectors put in. So what we can do, I've already done this test so I know the outcome, but this number 3 injector here, you can see doesn't spray as much fuel as the other 3. So what we'll do is we will mark this injector and we'll tell BJ, okay, whatever cylinder we put this in, we're gonna add, you know, 5% fuel. I'll have to do the math, but we'll add fuel to that one cylinder to make sure that that cylinder is getting equal fuel. So that's really important, because that one injector there, if I had to take a wild guess, I would say that when we messed the engine up in this bike, that was the cylinder that messed up. If I had to take a wild guess, because if you're running this thing wide open, especially with nitrous, and this cylinder here is running this much leaner, that cylinder is going to be getting a lot hotter. That's why I like my new turbo bike and stuff. It has EGTs, which measures the exhaust gas temperature on every single cylinder. If we see one cylinder getting hotter than the other, that tells us there's something going on with that cylinder, fuel wise or something. So this right here, more than likely, this cylinder was running a lot leaner than the rest of the cylinders, and I bet that's the cylinder that burned up on that bike. So we'll be sure to make a note of that, and that is why, well, for one, these injectors were stopped up. They were dirty as crap, but for two, on high horsepower applications, this is why you got to do spray test values to see the difference. Very, very important. Got our injectors clean. We're back up here today. Pop our clutch cover off. Boom! MTC Gen 2 clutch. So we're gonna pull this out. Behind this is your oil pump. So this thing's been sitting now for a couple years without being run. So we're gonna pull this out. We're gonna spin our oil pump a good bit and get some oil pressure built up. Make sure we got oil on our crank and everything, so that we know we're not running anything dry. This is way too expensive of an engine to let run dry. So we're gonna do that. We're missing the bolts for our darn fuel rail, but BJ says he thinks he's got some he can get us, so we can get that put on. And I think once we get this oil primed up, we get our injectors on, I think then, I mean, it's ready to see if it will start. We already got power. We let our battery charge overnight. We got power. We found a jump box over here to get this thing started. We're getting close. While on this thing, and I ain't gonna lie, it's been frustrating the crap out of me. Had to find the fuel rail for this thing. We had to find some bolts, had to go get some jacked up looking stuff from Lowe's to get it to fit. Frustrated, but we got it all in there. The next thing we gotta check, we got all the injectors in. I think I got everything plugged off. I had to find our fuel regulator. Guys, this thing been sitting so long. I mean, it literally, I'm having to figure out how to piece all this stuff back together. Let's see if we got any fuel leaks. Stand back, because this pump hadn't been primed in a while. We just put some new fuel factory in it. Really? No leaks? I literally had this set up for you guys because I just knew it was gonna leak. No leaks. Wow, proud of myself on that. Huh, no leaks anywhere. So now what we gotta do is get our nitrous lines on. You see down here, those are our basically nitrous injectors that go straight into our head. We gotta get the nitrous lines on those, so those will be plugged off. Then we're gonna hook it up to the computer, see if we got oil pressure as we spin it over. Actually, I think I'm gonna do that first. We got the starter box hooked up. The thing will spin over. We just got the oil pressure gauge, I think, hooked up in the right way. So let's spin it over with obviously no ignition, no fuel pump on, and see if we can get oil pressure to prime up on this. Got our Motec software pulled up here. Right here's our oil pressure. Let's see if when we spin it over, I got fuel pump unhooked, ignition unhooked. Should just be able to spin this thing over and see what we get. Oh yeah, 25 PSI just off the starter box there. That's what we want to see before we actually try to start this thing. So now let's get these nitrous lines capped off, plug everything back in, and this thing might actually run right now, dude. All right, guys, I got it back on there. One, look at this nitrous kit. Jesus, 2 stages of tons of nitrous. I got none of it hooked up right now. All we're doing is putting the lines on there just so it'll seal up so our engine doesn't get any vacuum leaks. Won't suck any air. Our other issue we are gonna hear, I believe these are gonna create a nice exhaust leak. It's probably gonna not sound the best. But fuel pump's plugged in, ignition's plugged in. Let's turn our key on here. Hook up, make sure we got our monitor on our Motec system. Live data with this. Mainly our oil pressure is what we want to watch right over here. I guess without further ado, I'll see if we got it hooked up right. We might not have something plugged in because it don't sound like we got no fire. Seeing RPM. Uh-oh. Yeah, we gotta get somewhere. It's just taking her a minute to dig out of the grave. Our batteries sound like it's getting weak. Oh boy. Come on. Come on, baby. Let's go. Oh yeah, here we go. Come on. try this again. Silly old me, I put the nitrous lines on there but didn't put jets in there. Call BJ and ask him, hey, what do you think's going on? He's like, did you put jets in it, you idiot? No, I didn't. I didn't put jets in there, so we weren't getting that sealed up. So now let's see if whenever we crank this puppy up, if we gotta go back. This is not connected. So now we'll see if whenever we connect to it, which really we don't even need this anymore. It's got plenty of oil pressures. And I ain't looking at nothing else. But let's see if it idles like it's supposed to, or we can really see what this puppy sounds like. Hopefully our starter box got another start in her. Come on. Oh my gosh, starter box. We'll have to give her a few minutes. Got a little bit of a high idle, so I had to ask Beej. He's gonna have to get in here. He's gonna have to plug in himself. Big Kountry, he don't do a lot of that computer stuff. I just put this sucker together, and to be honest with you, I probably put something together wrong is why it's doing that. But man, did you see this shooting fire? It sounds sick. When we get that thing idled on down and dialed in a little bit more, dude, this puppy got that big thump in her, if you know what I'm saying, guys. This engine here makes the horses. You can see it's ready to go. It's ready to rip. What are we gonna do with this thing though? I mean, we've brought it back out. At one time, the fastest nitrous bike there was. But what's next for it? I mean, here we are on the Big Kountry YouTube channel. Do we take it? Do we update this thing and go back racing it? Do we move on to another engine combo and do something different? What in the world should we do? Let me know in the comments. We got a really good engine, really good chassis, but really to go out there and compete, we'd really have to spend a lot of money. So I don't know what our best option is. We just dug this thing out because at 9/11 you guys said you wanted to see it run. So we brought her out, and I want to know what you guys think we should do. I got an idea which will require us to sell the engine and start with something different, a different route. Y'all aren't going to think that's a good idea because you don't know what I got planned. But trust Big Kountry when he says he's got a sick plan. So if anybody is interested in buying probably the most, I mean, this is top of the line to this day nitrous engine for a Gen 2 Hayabusa, let me know. If I get a good offer, I might let this motor go and just start completely different. I mean, I know it wouldn't be nitrous, because if I was going to use it as a nitrous bike, this would be the engine I would use. If that gives you a little bit of hint of what I'm talking about. But let me know if you're interested in the engine. That'd be the only thing I'd probably be willing to sell off the bike. But until next time, guys, we've dug it out. I might throw the bodywork on it right quick and pull it outside and get some good pictures of it and do a walk around. I think that's what we're going to do before we end this video.
Keep it country. Keep it